Feeling stuck? Searching for clarity? Welcome to Life in HD with me, Natalia, a podcast about clarity, self-discovery, and embracing the unique way your brain works. I'm a life coach who was late diagnosed with ADHD. Ever since, I've been on a mission to help others break free from unrealistic expectations and build a life that truly fits them. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, stuck, or like you just don't fit the mold, this is a space for you. Whether you're navigating ADHD, anxiety, or just trying to break free from outdated expectations, with real conversations and practical strategies, I will help you reframe your mindset and build a life that works for you. Let's redefine success, challenge the stigma, and live a life in high definition. Ready? Let's dive in.
Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Dr. Pat. I get to take this beautiful ride of life with Natalia Peña. And I want to say this about Natalia. You've heard so much about her. She has been acknowledged for her work that she does. So we're talking about a show that's called Life in HD with Natalia. We're talking about helping all of us see life, how our brain works, how do we do it in high definition. Today, you're about to get some information, but you're going to get tools. Today, we're looking at how do you build your brain toolbox? Because I'm telling you, there are some of us that really had to do this, right, Natalia? I mean, this is like we had to figure this out, or this would not be, you wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
But this is one of the most practical and empowering episodes, and let's just call it information.
Yes.
So here we are today, but let's talk about this. When I say Brain Toolbox, people are probably wondering, what is she talking about? Even if you and I may understand it and know it, let's explain to people what that means for us.
Yeah, so first I want to sort of explain where this concept of the toolbox came for my life. I was diagnosed at 36 with ADHD. And when you've lived a life without knowing that you have a particular brain, you develop mechanisms and strategies and tools since you were born all the way till adulthood. But once I learned that I had ADHD, it sort of opened this it's the first time I got the filter to see much better. And I realized that I was killing myself trying to use tools that were not meant for me, that I was never going to be able to use. And it was through my self-discovery of what ADHD is and how do you approach life when you have that filter, that I started to find tools that were more beneficial to me than others. And so what I created during a whole year, actually, after I got my diagnosis, was I started to try different tools. And there were some that didn't work. I don't know if someone has ever told you to just make a list.
Oh my God.
And I used to feel guilty because I was like, but it sounds so simple, but I make a list, but then where did I put the list? And so I used to feel guilty. There was a lot of guilt because I don't know, also at the beginning of the year with the resolutions and everybody's like, journaling is the best thing that you could do. And I would start really strong. January 1st, I actually found one of my, this is 2023. And as I opened it, I was very strong till February 16th. And then it's just not a tool that works for me. And instead of feeling guilty because this didn't work, or maybe there was something wrong with me, I found out that it's just not all tools are necessary for the work. The same way that if you need to put up a painting and you need nails and a hammer to put it up, those are specific tools. You wouldn't go around trying to find a saw or like a very powerful drill, right? There are certain tools that are specific for certain jobs, the same way that they are coping mechanisms and their strategies that might not work for you because you might be a particular kind of person. So this
Exactly.
is where I developed a brain toolbox. And I called it a toolbox because we all have tools, but unless you sort them out and put them in one place, it's just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is so important. And I want to tell you why. And I want you to comment on this because what you and I are doing is we're walking through something step by step, which is extremely important. But you and I, what did you say? 36, 37? What were
36.
you?
I was 36 years old. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for me, I had known, but it wasn't until I had a blackout near death thing that they put me through tests. And they first diagnosed me incorrectly. Thank goodness my, what do we call them? Neuro doctor, neurosurgeon. Thank goodness he went more into detail
Mm,
because I would have been given the wrong toolbox. I would have been given the wrong tools, right?
exactly.
So let's
Yes.
talk about why this is important and why it's also important, as you beautifully explained it, that it's not about fixing.
Yeah,
I wasn't broken, but we
that's
think,
it.
but people think we are. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. So because you cannot do something simple like making a list and sticking to it, maybe there's something wrong with you. And it's just not that there is something wrong with you, it's that you're probably not wired to do a visual kind of list. Maybe your lists have to be different. And so what I would like to do is so why is it important? Because when you need to do something, like I'm going to put the example of going to the doctor, which I think a lot of people are going to relate this. When you have an appointment that you have to go somewhere else, there's this dread that comes
I have it
alongside.
right now. I have it
Yeah.
right now.
so so you could become very overwhelmed because then it's like, okay, my appointment is at 2 p.m. And for some people that don't know that they have a neurodivergency, the tool that they use the most is procrastination. And the reason why procrastination works so beautifully is because when we live something to the last minute, the sense of urgency is telling our brain we're in an emergency. And then your brain starts to produce all the dopamine, all the adrenaline, everything that you really need that is required for you to move on, to just brush your teeth, get out the door, and go in the car. And although it works, and a lot of people swear by procrastination, it is not a sustainable tool to have to be on time to things. So when I need to go to the doctor, I have to sort of first figure out what is that I struggle with. Once you figure out what is that you struggle with, now you can start finding out, okay, what tools can I use for my struggle?
Yeah.
So if I have to go to the doctor, and one of the struggles I have as someone with ADHD is that I am not aware of time. I have time, they call it blindness, but I think someone is trying to change it to say just time unawareness.
Yeah.
Um, so if this is something that I struggle with, now I know that, okay, I need to maybe ask someone else, how long does it take you to get ready to go to the doctor? Because on my own, I cannot figure it out.
Yeah.
Or I need to time myself getting ready so that now I have like, oh, look, it takes me actually 10 minutes to get ready. It's not that bad. So now I'm going to start having sort of like the tool to get ready. I know I have 15, 20 minutes to before I need to leave, or checking on a MapQuest to see MapQuest. I'm so old. Checking on like Google Maps or something. How long does it take you to get to the doctor's office? Is there parking around? And then you just start giving yourself this like kind of math account of
Yeah.
like, well, 15 minutes to find parking. What if I get lost? I'm gonna give myself another 10 minutes in case I get lost. And so what you start to create is this sort of like project planning to one activity. And the reason why it feels overwhelming to go somewhere is because you don't really know what is that you need to figure out. So the first step is what triggers you, what I struggle with. So figuring out your brain. And that's why in the last episode, sort of figuring out what kind of brain do you have is very important. So one of the tools to figure out what kind of brain you have, and I will send this to you, Dr. Pat, because I think you're gonna enjoy it.
I totally will.
Yeah, there's this creator called, she's called Color Me Spicy, and I will send you the links and stuff. And she created this beautiful wheel chart.
And Stefan, maybe Stefan, you can put this in the show too.
If you could see it here, it's like a wheel.
Yeah.
And then each of the breakouts are all symptoms that you could experience when you're on the spectrum, ADHD or etc. So she talks about executive dysfunction, masking, steaming, and she goes into detail explaining what each of them are. And then what you need to do is sort of just fill up your wheel according to the intensity of how much you experience or how much you struggle with something. So as you can see, mine is super colorful.
Very nice.
And then this kind of area here is all my ADHD traits. And then these ones are more on the spectrum. And so it's a really cool tool for it to see. So for me, the biggest ones were impulsivity, time blindness, and dopamine seeking.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I go on YouTube, finding techniques, tools, tips for someone to help me with dopamine seeking, time blindness. And there are so many resources out there, but now I'm more specific about looking around for those things. So this sort of figuring out is the first step. You need to know like what kind of issues you need tools to before you start looking for tools.
Yeah.
The second thing that comes into mind is there is a division of kind of tools. The same way that if you go to Home Depot, you'll find the different sections, right? There's the painting tools, there is for carpentry, etc. So I would like to take about 10 minutes with you to go through all of them. And I actually brought some of my own to show you.
Perfect.
So the first tools that we have are executive function tools. So executive functioning is trouble with planning, starting, organizing, or finishing a task. Sounds familiar? So great tools for executive function are visual timers. So for example, we have this, it looks like a kitchen, but it actually shows the time as it's passing. So I don't have to be paying attention of like, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. That sounds like gibberish.
That's a tool for me.
But I see, I have a lot of red yet still.
Exactly.
Or this is, I'm cutting it close. That looks like very little. I have to hurry up. So a visual timer is a fantastic tool.
Wow.
And the sound always is going to drive us insane. But it especially when we hyper focus or we get so caught up in doing something that we enjoy, having some of those tools are important. The old-timey sand, what is this called?
I know what it's called. It's like a sand timer or whatever, but I get it. Did that work for you?
Oh, sorry.
Does that work for you?
No, this doesn't work for me. But for calming down sometimes, and I look at it because sometimes I get agitated. So it's not so much for me to like help me start something, but more like I finished doing something and I'm gonna give myself time to just cool down. The other ones, smartwatches, calendars. I painted a whole wall in my kitchen with chalk paint so I can write things, and not just my family sees it, but I see it. I have a calendar in the fridge. I have a calendar on the walkway. And my family is like, Mom, why do you keep reminding us? And I'm like, I'm not doing this for you. I am reminding myself so that whenever I look at it, I can see it. There's even the motion of putting things twice in something. It's making a memory, making it memorized. Oh, I have an appointment tomorrow. And then my other one that is one of my favorite is body doubling. So body doubling is when you have someone else in the room. So it's sort of like the police, in school where it's like, oh, you always need someone to be policing you. It works. For some of us, having someone else in the room makes us feel like, oh, there's someone there. I should be working because they're working, right? Or the sense of like washing the dishes when someone is talking to you. It will go much faster if you're by yourself. So maybe you cannot have a physical person with you, but one of the things I do with all my families in Colombia is I call them on FaceTime or with WhatsApp, and I will put them on my phone in the kitchen, and they will be there talking to me while I clean my whole kitchen. And then the time passes, and I used that tool of having someone talking to me to get the thing done. So that's for executive functioning tools, for you to get started, for you to, for you to be reminded. The other one is emotional regulation tools. Okay, now, emotional dysregulation is when you feel your feelings really hard and they come really fast, and it's very hard to calm down. And once you're overwhelmed, it's like a roller coaster. So this is mainly for when you're feeling anxiety or you're feeling overwhelmed. So these are 3 tools that I found. One is called Name It to Tame It. So practically what you're doing is you are taking the time to really, really figure it out. What am I feeling right now? So you ask, okay, right now I feel very agitated. Okay. And what's the story you're telling yourself? Okay. The story I'm telling myself is that if I don't get on time to the doctor's office, the doctor is going to get mad at me. And then they're going to charge me $50 because I was late. And then I'm not going to get to see. And then I'm going to miss and I have to repeat, right? Okay. So what do you need? Okay. What I need to is not to be late. And maybe figure out if I'm scheduling my appointments too late in the afternoon, and maybe I should start scheduling in the morning. Okay. So then you start saying, okay, I feel anxious and tense. The story I'm telling myself is that the doctor is going to get mad at me. And so by saying it out loud or writing it, what you're doing is you're actually starting to make sense of, okay, the doctor is not going to be mad at me, right? This story I'm telling my brain is not really what is going to happen. I'm not even there yet. So it's a matter of calming down your brain by speaking it out loud about what you're feeling. So it's a bit more intentional to do it, and some people find that writing it down, you could write the story. So you just have to say, what am I feeling right now? What's the story I'm telling, and what I need to do. Another tool for emotional dysregulation is somatic practices. So somatic tools are body-based. So they are techniques that help you discharge stress and regulate emotions through the nervous system. So it's not just the mind. So for example, shaking. And you will see it. You see people that are they're fidgeting, and that's a normal way of you getting that like emotion out. And then sometimes what I do when nobody's watching is I do this thing that's called the flippy fish. And is I go in my bed and I just flip around like I'm a fish out of the water, and that will just reset my emotional system right away. And then, like I said, just you could go on YouTube and find a specific emotional regulation tools, and you will find them very many. Another ones are sensory support tools. So sensory support tools, you go to a place and it's very loud, or the lights are too intense. You find that your senses get overwhelmed really fast. So I found this called loops, and they have been game changers when I go grocery shopping, and they look actually super cute. Look, when I put them on, they look really fancy, and they come in different colors.
Very nice.
And they have different kind of settings that, for example, I use them when I go to church. I find the drums at my church are a bit too loud. And so I put them on, and it makes the sound be specific to one place. So I am enjoying the music and I'm hearing it, but it's not overwhelming. For concerts, these are fantastic. If you're someone that doesn't enjoy concerts, buying noise canceling earbuds are fantastic for you. They're helpful. Um, Other sensory fidget tools. If you need to breathe, look, we just found this at the dollar store. So you breathe in and out. There are so many things available right now that you could use in just for self-regulating. So if going somewhere is too overwhelming, wearing sunglasses. Now they're making many glasses that are just very little in the filter. They're not so dark. Other tools, mindset and self-compassion tools. We are very hard on ourselves. So learning how to reframe and internalize ableism. So many times we don't see that we're doing it, but we're very judgmental and discriminatory towards a disability. And because most of our disabilities are invisible, you don't see them, right? You don't notice that I have ADHD. It's not something that is visible. I will be very hard on myself, and I will say things like, I'm lazy, I'm choosing to be selfish for not doing this, or you just need to wash the dishes, but you can't even do that. And I'm doing that in my head. And that is all information you're giving your brain to get anxious. And so self-talk scripts. So instead of saying, okay, this is hard because this is how my brain works, is not because I'm lazy. This is something I'm struggling with because it was not made for me, and I just need to figure it out. So, and then rest. Rest is the best tool that you could use. Scheduling time to do nothing, or scheduling time to do something that you love, and put it in your day and make it as if it's as important. And no matter what, you want to schedule a doctor's appointment because you had it on your schedule, that was something important. And then the last ones are connection and community tools. So joining a support group, an online group, listening to podcasts, commenting on podcasts like this. The Transformation Network has many podcasts that are amazing tools for people. Therapists, life coaches, people that understand neurodivergence. These are important tools for you, because then they can help you sort out all the other tools. And then when you need to start now building your own toolbox, that's what you will have to go through all of them and try to see, okay, what I struggle when I need to go on to the doctor, or I struggle when I need to start a project, or I struggle to finish up or to go to bed early, etc. Once you know what is that you struggle with, then you start looking for different tools. Like I said, online, there's books, podcasts. And then what you need to do is try them. And trying is hard because we are perfectionists and we don't like to fail. And so one of the things that I need to kind of drill into everybody's mind is failure is a beautiful thing. Failure is something amazing, because failure is information of something that is not working so that you can try something else.
That is so important, Natalia, because first of all, thank you for that. That is so beautiful. But you're right about this, because the stigma that most of us have faced, and I just touched upon the fact I got a wrong diagnosis early on. They diagnosed my version of being on the spectrum as the opposite. So what they diagnosed for me was that I had what they call a detail-oriented processing. And so when you have that and you're given tools, what that means is I pay attention to details. It's not it. They gave me the wrong thing. My doctor found that I'm not that. What I am is I'm a visual thinker. And so being that, there are going to be some tools work. Do you know what my team goes crazy over that I do? Okay, a lot of things. But there's one thing, and Jessica and Linda especially. Linda's super detailed. But I asked them to color code all the producers, their own. Like Nat, I gave a new color to. So when you look at the producer calendar, it has multiple colors. So for other people, they're like, we don't need all those colors. And I'm what you call, I have this thing. The upside of it is I'm highly able to imagine images and diagrams. Can I pass a GRE exam? Not likely. But I see things in pictures. So you're to your point. One, you're not bad, you're not wrong. You may be different or you may call yourself different, but you are not less than. And these tools and the way you presented this is brilliant. I want to touch upon one last thing that you said. You got to find what fits for you. I play ping pong. I love it. People don't get it. But you know that fidgety, remember we were talking about that?
Yes.
What do you think ping pong does? It's a fidgety thing. It's the constant hitting of a ball. But in closing, you're bringing more than just tools. See, you're a living, breathing example, aren't you, of what can be done. Look at you doing the show, Natalia.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Yes. This has been one of those, oh, I can do this. And then I'm doing it. And then I watch it after. I'm like, that is me. And I did do it. I did prepared. I'm using my tools. I'm actually doing the work. And I think what I want everybody to know is that they can too. And the reason why they haven't been able is not because they're less than or because they're broken,
Right.
it's because they haven't figured out the right tools.
That's
and
right.
So I would like to end the show and ask everybody, what's one tool that they can add to their life this week that will help them feel more like themselves? Just one tool. Start little. You don't need to fill up the toolbox with a drill and things right away. Start with one nail. Start with one tool, one thing that might help you. And it might be just watching an episode of someone talking about tools about time blindness, or it might be about an episode about how to unmask when you're feeling tired, or how to schedule rest. So and then once you have all these tools, you try them, they don't work, chuck them, try another, give them time also. And then once you have them, it doesn't mean that they're for life. They might be for a season. They might be during the season that you're walking right now, you need specific tools. And then also, as I'm moving forward, now it's been 4 years that I've had this diagnosis, and there were some tools I needed that now I realized, like, oh, you know what? I don't need this tool anymore. So refreshing your toolbox is also good. Don't let those tools get rusty. So what's one tool that you could add to your life this week? I would love to know if you could comment.
I'm going to tell you mine. That color timer thing, OMG, that is the thing. And the other thing I want to say is my producer is hearing this show. And I hope Stefan and the rest of the producers have an understanding of why I ask for graphics in the shows, why I have a different opinion when I review openers. You see, I hadn't thought about it until today. But I've never really explained myself because I've been so ashamed of it. I want to thank you. How do people find out more about you?
Yes, you can find me at natalialifecoach.com, or any of my socials are at Natalia ADHD.
And I want you to send me the link for that, for the timer.
Yes, I will send you so that you could send everybody in your team the color wheels and everybody feel it. I'm going to show you fast. Look, this is mine. This is my son's. This is my other son's. Look, they're all very different.
Thank you so much for today. We have to really understand each other.
Yes.
You know, we love each other. And this is one way if we understand each other. But what you did today was say, find the tool that works for you, not with what somebody says. Thank you for everything, Natalia. Thank you, Stefan. Welcome. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks for spending time with me on Life in HD. I'm Natalia. Tune in every third Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for spending time with me on Life in HD. I'm Natalia. Tune in every third Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. If today's episode resonated with you, I would love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who needs to hear this at natalialifecoach.com. Remember, clarity, growth, and success look different for everyone. Keep embracing who you are, and I'll see you next time.